So today we're going to discuss on the Java collection framework. So collection framework represents a unified architecture for storing and manipulating a group of objects. It has interfaces and implementations and algorithms, and the complete collection framework will be coming in from your Java.util package, which will have all the classes and interfaces. So collection means, like as the name itself signifies, it's a it's a combination, or you can take it as a container which will hold a group of objects. Um, let's say now previously we discussed about arrays, right? Now array is it has some group of objects, so that can be taken as a collection. So so whatever take some entity, any entity which will be used for storing and manipulating group of objects, that is called as a collection. So within our Java collection framework we have plenty of classes and interfaces which we can use based on our requirement. So this is our complete collection framework hierarchy. So the main interface, the base interface is your iterable interface, and the next one is collection interface. So collection interface will be implementing all the functions from your iterable interface, and from this collection interface, list, queue, and set. So these are the interfaces which will be implementing methods from collection interface. Remaining everything are classes: array list, linked list, vector, stack, queue, dequeue, hash set, linked hash set, sorted set, and preset. Just a minute. Okay. So
Your voice got breakdown. Now we can hear you.
yeah,
What?
I just muted myself. Yeah,
Okay.
now we get just resuming it. So we have if you can see the what you call the legend, the red one is interface and the green one are the classes. So all the ones on the green, they're called the classes, and list, queue, set, collection, iterable, all these are called as interfaces. So if you want to implement an interface from a class, you need to use the implements keyword. If you want to extend the class from a class, you need to use the extends keyword. And so let's discuss on the very first interface, the called iterable interface. So the iterable interface is the root interface for all the collection classes. So everything, like each and every collection class present here are implemented by collection, and collection itself is implementing iterable interface. So by default, all the classes are implementing the iterable interface. So the collection interface extends the iterable interface, and therefore all subclasses of collection interface also implement the iterable interface. So it contains one and only one abstract method. We know that interface is a special class which will hold only abstract methods. What are abstract methods? Methods which do not contain any body. It only gives you the functionality but not the implementation. So iterable interface will have only one abstract method, that is iterator. T is for type, and iterator. That's it. The next in our hierarchy is a collection interface. So collection interface is an interface which is implemented by all the classes in the collection framework. So it declares the methods that every collection will have. Some of the methods are add all, void, clear, and we're going to discuss in detail, like when we're doing our coding. So these are few methods which are implemented by the subclasses of the collection interface. So the first thing which we'll be discussing is the array list. So till yesterday we discussed on arrays and strings. Today we are going to discuss on array list. So array list uses dynamic array for sorting the elements. So it is like an array, but there is no size limit. So yesterday we whatever array which we are declaring, it has a fixed size. So if you declare it as 5, you can only store 5 elements there. But for array list, it does not have any size limit. You can add and you can remove the elements anytime. That's the difference between an array and an array list. So it will be coming from the Java.util package. The array list in Java can have duplicate elements also. It implements the list interface so that we can use all the methods of the list interface. So just keep in mind, just put this diagram in your mind so that it will be very easy for you. ARRAYLIST is implementing the list interface. List is an interface. That's the same thing here. It implements the list interface. So whatever methods are there in the list interface, we can use it in the ARRAYLIST. So the ARRAYLIST maintains the insertion order, and Java ARRAYLIST allows random access because it is working on index basis. So we know that array has indexes. It will start from 0 on how many elements are there. The last index would be n minus 1. So if you have 3 elements, it would be 0, 1, and 2. So similarly, if you want if you want an element which is in position number 5, you'll simply write a get of 5. ARRAYLIST dot get of 5, you'll get the value of it. So this will allow random access. And manipulation is a bit slower than linked list because in Java there's a lot of shifting if you want to remove an element from the array list. So when we're discussing on array list and linked list, then you'll get to know what is the exact meaning of it, like why the manipulation is a bit slower. And we cannot create an array list of primitive types such as int, float, char, and etc. It is required to use the required wrapper classes. So we know that int, float, char, byte, boolean, double, float, these are called as primitive data types. So you cannot create an array list with using primitive data types, using int and double or float. Instead, you can make use of integer class. This is a wrapper class. So you'll understand it once we deep dive into the coding itself. So let me comment out everything. So how to declare an array list? Again, always make use of your Eclipse shortcuts. Okay, just type ARRAY and type L, control space. You'll get this. Now here you need to provide the type. So you're creating an array list of type string. So provide it as string. If you try to provide it as int, which is a primitive data type, new array list of type int. See, you'll get an error here. So you can never create an array list of primitive data types, but you can only use it as wrapper class. If you want, you can put it as integer. This will be allowed because integer is a class. C for class. So if you want to create an array list of strings, put as strings. String. So array list of string I is the object of the of this array list equal to new array list of string. So whatever manipulations you want to do, you can do it using this I object. I dot add. If you want to add something, your name. So this I object will have your name. So if you want to add something, use the dot add function. And if you want to just print it out, run as Java application. You see this? So you have BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Ferrari. You have 4 objects here. Okay. When you're trying to print it, you're getting the output, but if you see, you're getting it in a list format. How can you recognize that as a list? By the square brackets here. So it is enclosed in your square brackets. So this is a list of objects. Okay. Now, if you want to get only the specific elements out of it, then we use something called as an iterator. Just type iterator. It'll be coming in from your java.util package again. Iterator. Your type is string. Give some object. Give some name. And what do you want to iterate on? You want to iterate on the list. So just type list dot iterator. So iterator of type string, give the object name and take your list, and you're going to iterate it over the list. Why do you want to iterate it over the list? If you want to iterate something, you'll use a for loop. for I equal to 0, I less than something, and I less than the length, and I plus plus, you iterate it each and every time. But you have something called as iterator. So you can make use of that and simply iterate over the list. So you don't know how many items the list has. And in previous class we discussed that if you don't know the size of something, use a while loop. So while your iterator dot has, so you need not you need to memorize all the methods. When you're using Eclipse, you'll automatically get all this. You only need to know when and where to use what. So if iterator has next means if my iterator, if my list has a next element, until then print it. So print iterator dot next element. Let me comment out this. Run as Java application. You'll get the list of objects. Previously, you got a list of object with it's a complete list line. Now you got each and every object in a single line. That's how you create an array list. You add elements to the array list and you print them. You access them. So let's say, okay, this is one way of printing the elements. So you have another way, like you can make use of the for loop also. So this is called your enhanced for loop. Enhanced for loop. So what you'll do, you will just type and you know the enhanced for loop shortcut, right? It is FORE plus control plus space. So if you type FORE control space, you'll get the first session itself. Just hit enter and type this sysout string, this one. Just print this string value. So this for loop will iterate over the list and store each and every element in the string, and you'll just print the string here.
This is advanced for loop concept, right?
Yes, correct. So here also you'll get the same output. So these are different ways of accessing your array list, like printing your array list. You can make use of your sysout, you can make use of your iterator or for loop or for each loop. That's up to your wish. Again, it depends on number of elements. Okay, whatever you want, you can simply just make use of them, like whatever is feasible for you, use it. So tomorrow when you're going to work on your code, right? So there are less chances of you writing a code from scratch for some functionalities. Most probably what you'll be doing is like you'll have some existing piece of code. You need to analyze the existing piece of code and you can write a new functionalities on top of that. So let's say if your existing functionality is using something of this type, and if you are asked to follow the same thing, you need to know different ways, like different ways of doing the same job. So for that you need to know. Okay, now so we declared an array list. We added some elements, and if you want to get the third, if you want to get the third element means your index position is 3. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, and 3. Your output should be Ferrari now. Ferrari. Now comment this. Try to set some element here. So I just typed in list.set. Now my set method is taking index as first parameter and element as second parameter. That means whatever number you give in the index position and whatever element you give, this element will be set in this index. So I'm passing 3, Bugatti. So my third element is Ferrari. Ferrari will be replaced by Bugatti. That's why I got my output as Bugatti. So list. I got the list as Bugatti. Getting it? If I type list dot add int index for and type Pagani, and if I print the list, you see this list here. This is not possible in your arrays because once you declare the size of your array, like if you set it to 3, that's it. Whatever you want to do, you can do it only among the 3 elements. You cannot add new elements, or you cannot add new elements. But in array list, in the runtime itself, whatever you want, you can just add them and just make use of them. That is the only difference. So this is how you get an element, and this is how you set an element. And you have something called as sorting of the elements. So simply make use of the collections framework. It is coming from java.util.collections. And if you just type in dot sort, sorts the specified list into ascending order. So just put dot sort and provide the whatever list you want to sort, simply provide the list and you'll get it in this order. So A, B, F, and M. This is sorted. Suppose if you want to get it in a reverse order, simply pass the reverse one. Collections dot reverse order. Simply pass this method within your sort method. So here, if you hover on the sort, it will tell you, it will take a list and it will take a comparator. So collections dot reverse order is coming from the comparator. Now if you run this, you'll get the reverse order: Mercedes, Ferrari, BMW, and Audi. With like in our C or C++, like how do you sort them? You simply take list of everything. You take an empty list, compare element by element. If the element is and you then do a swap of it. Correct. Instead of that, what we're doing, so you're making use of the collection framework itself. Something dot sort. That's it. Your whole list will be sorted. So this framework is making things easier for us, like moving forward. This is how you sort the elements. And let's say I have one list, integer equal to new array list. Now just notice one small difference here. You have written array list of string equal to new array list. I can also write list integer equal to new array list of integer. Because my array list is implementing from list, I can make use of this list also. I can type list integer equal to new array list. This will work fine for me. So I'm adding a few numbers to this, and again I'm just putting collection dot sort the list using advanced for each loop. I'm just printing it. You can see this. So you can sort your strings, you can sort your numbers. Like if you simply pass it as a list, it will sort it in ascending order. If you want it in descending order, simply pass the reverse order. That's it. Any doubts still here in ARRAYLIST?
So I have a generic question. It's a generic question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what is the shortcut of removing commenting lines and adding commenting lines? All the multiple lines you're selecting and then you...
Done. Good. UTRL plus symbol to comment or uncomment. Okay. Just simply hover on the line, use control / it will comment. Again control / it will uncomment.
Okay, by selecting multiple lines also same. Okay,
same thing. Yeah, simply select everything, use a control / it will comment out.
Okay.
If you want to delete something, right? If you want to delete a line, like if you want to delete this empty line, use control D.
Control D. Okay.
Yeah. To delete entire line.
Okay.
So just put control D, it will delete the entire line there.
Yeah.
Okay, so like when we are discussing the Spring framework, there will get many shortcuts. How to open, like you can use, you can how to, if you want to open a resource, if you want to search, search for a word,
Okay.
I'll tell you all this.
So here,
Mhm.
in the line number 17 to line number 28, in
17,
order to
28.
generate output, we are using multiple output methods, right? One is
Yeah.
system.list, and second one is printing elements, and third one is for each loop, which is called advanced
Yes.
security.
Yes. Yes.
So, um, so as per the requirement, we will use this one, or how? I mean, for example, if we use the system.out, the 17th line, it will
Mhm.
just print a list of objects. So if it take the next step 19 to 23, it is consuming more lines and it is consuming space also. So do you mean it will have more space in heap memory? It will consume?
No, no, no. In the real world, like in your exact industry codes, you won't find this line at all. System.out.print,
Okay.
because whatever list is there, you'll only utilize the list object there. Meaning, like like let's say you have the list of objects, right? You can use this list of objects within your JSP pages or HTML, or integrate with your front end. You'll do it in that way. You won't print it there.
Okay.
Yeah. So just for our illustration purposes only, we are just simply printing to get the to know the output,
Okay.
right?
So in real life, it won't be okay.
In real world, like a system.out.println, like this line will be rarely used. If you want to get output within your application itself, you use this sysout.
Okay.
Yeah, so like let's say if you have list, right, whatever whatever values are there, you'll populate those values into your JSP pages, your front-end JSP pages or front-end HTML pages, or Angular or React frameworks, .NET, anything. Whatever is a front-end framework, you'll simply pass this list to the front-end framework. They will break the list and they will get all the values there, and they will display the result.
Okay.
Because if I show something this way, like I have these values, right?
Yeah.
These are only in my console. Like if you want to put these values in my front end UI page, that is the user interface page, I need to have some order, right? I need to have some object. From that object only, I can simply take it, and there's no use of me printing it, right, in my Java application.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, one-way printing elements, one-way enhancer, and
yeah, yeah.
getting and sort elements, all these are methods, right?
All these are different ways of accessing, like different ways of iterating over them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
So here we are using array list.
Mm-hmm.
See, where is the line? Can you scale down?
Mm-hmm.
So you use the list some list integer num list is equal to new array list, right? So
44
because
million. Yeah.
yeah, 44. So why we are using list and why we are interlinked with array list, because which is comes under list properties, right?
List is an interface.
Yeah.
Array list is implementing your list.
So as for that flow diagram, so that we can
Yeah,
use list over here.
exactly. So if you like, just click on control and click on this array list, you'll see.
Mm.
Just a minute. You see this public class array list implements list.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So this one is same like yesterday's concept only, right? I mean,
Yep.
we are
Yep.
implementing the interface.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you keep array list also, it will work fine. Nothing will happen.
But we are
Both are
implementing.
both are
It
same.
it is just initializing the number list object is initializing the array list class.
Exactly.
But if you change to list means it is implementing a previous class or.
You cannot, yeah, like I think you cannot take it as a list here, because list is an interface, right? You cannot instantiate it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Clear with this?
Yeah.
If this is clear, then yeah, remaining topics will be clear, also clear. So the next topic is linked list. So the Java linked list class uses a W linked list to store the elements. It provides a linked list data structure. It inherits the abstract list class and implements the list and the DQ interfaces. So our ARRAYLIST is implementing the list interface as well as some other interfaces, right? If you open the new ARRAYLIST class, this is extending the abstract list and implementing list, random access, clonable, and serializable classes interfaces. Similarly, your linked list will be inheriting the abstract list and implementing list and DQ interfaces. So a linked list can contain duplicate elements, and linked list class always maintains an insertion order. So this is non-synchronized, and linked list class manipulation is fast because there's no shifting. And linked list class can be used as a list, stack, or a queue. So all these are properties of a linked list. So what is the class doing? Like it is used to store the elements. What is it? It's a data structure, which is providing linked list, and it is inheriting abstract classes and implementing list and DQ interfaces. And the properties are like in your interview questions also, be very you need to just revise all these topics because these are quite similar and they'll be quite confusing. They'll simply ask, does the linked list contain duplicate elements or not? What is insertion order? Does it maintain or not? So just make use of whenever you're preparing, right? Refer to this, like whether they contain duplicate elements or not, or whether they maintain insertion order or not. I'll tell you what is insertion order and like, how are the elements used. It is linked list. Again, let me comment out all the remaining methods. So same, how do you initialize the linked list? Linked list of type string, object name equal to new linked list of type string. If you see, linked list is coming from java.util package again. Okay, so I'm first printing the initial elements. So al.
Once, can you go slow? I mean, can you go slow? Okay. List. Yeah, allow new linked list. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just for the matter of time, I'm just going fast. Like if you want me to stop anyway, just ask me to stop. Okay.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
an issue. Not an issue. Yeah. So okay, if you want, let me just type it for. I can type link linked list of types string. Give the object name equal to new linked list of type string. That's it. Now use this object linked list dot add something. So linked list dot add something. Then syso control space print the linked list. That's it. List of 2 elements. So similarly, what we have here. So you have a linked list. So we are adding these 4 cars into our list, and again using our iterator. And if our iterator has the next element, we are printing the next element. That's it. So your initial list of elements is a blank list. If you see here, then I added 4 elements here. Now now see the difference from ARRAYLIST and linked list. Here, if I added if I added list.set 3 to Bugatti, my Ferrari entry was removed and it is updated by Bugatti. But now if you see here, the BMW, Mercedes, and I added in my second position, I added something called as Rolls-Royce. So this is 0th position, this is the first position, and in second position, Rolls-Royce is added, and then Audi and Ferrari is again coming. That means what? If you're trying to add something, it will not remove the existing element. it will simply add in between your elements and rest everything will continue the same. That's the difference between your array list and your linked list.
So you mean to say that ARRAYLIST just generate the output whatever we given. Linked list has an option to add also.
Let's see. Comment on this. Now see. Currently, my list should have BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Ferrari.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, I'm setting the third element. I'm setting the third index with Bugatti. So what did this do? 0, 1, and 2. Third index is Ferrari. It removed Ferrari from here and it added Bugatti here. It removed the element there. Meaning not removed, it simply updated my whatever value is there in the third index to Bugatti.
Okay.
And then I added the fourth element called Pagani, and then I got the entire list. Now, if you go to the linked list, I'm trying to add in the second index, that is 0, 1. So after Mercedes, I tried to add something called as Rolls Royce. So it didn't remove the Audi entry. Before Audi entry, it just added my Rolls Royce. Where is this? Oh, sorry. See, so before Audi it is Mercedes. Now before Audi it is Rolls Royce. Now it just appended to the existing list and printed everything. Is this clear?
Yes. So for both linked and ARRAYLIST, add function is applicable. So instead of add, can we do insert also? al.insert, is there anything like that, or?
Check it.
No, we don't have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a pull of the source code and just try a different ways, like whatever you want to do the manipulations, try them. You'll get to know whether it is possible or not. So is this clear? Adding an element at a specific position.
Yes.
Everyone, like if you have any doubts, please put it in the chat window, or you can stop me. So next is, now if you want to add an element to the list, you simply added the list object dot add, and you are adding some object here. Suppose if you want to add a list to a list. So now what I'll do is I'll declare one more linked list called AL1, a new linked list, and in AL1 I'll add some Mini Cooper, and AL1 I'll add Volkswagen. Now AL1 is a new list, and I want to add this new list to my existing list called AL. So what I can do, AL dot add all. If you see the add all method, it is accepting a collection. Collection means your list, that is AL1. So instead of me adding individual element to my AL, I'm adding the complete list here. AL dot add all AL1. So if I print this, my list would be what happened. Yep. So list after adding the elements, I got BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Ferrari, and after Mini Cooper and Volkswagen. So you have a feature of adding a list to an existing list in linked list. Yeah, and you can make use of this functionality. Like you can, like here you added an role size object at second position, right? You can do the same thing with a list also. So what I can do is I'll create a new list called AL2. In that AL2, I'll add McLaren and Bugatti, and I'll use the same and all method, and I'll pass some index called 1. 1 means Mercedes. So before Mercedes position, I'm going to add my list here. You see the output. See, BMW before Mercedes, I'm going to add my list here. List of 2 elements. Whatever is the list, I just added them. So even this is possible. You can add items to it. You can add specific items to a specific position to it. You can add specific list to a specific position. You can do all sort of things here. Suppose if you want to add something to the very first index, make use of add first. So simply run this. Now if you see al dot add first, so to the very first element, you'll get the add first element. If you type al dot add last, to the last element, you'll add something called as Pagani. So to the last of a list, you'll get this word. Suppose if you don't know the last index, right? Simply make use of this add last, and to that it will be appended. So they are just you just need to know when to use which collection framework. Rest everything is simple. You just need to know, like, if you want to add something, what is the method? If you want to put something, what is the method? Like let's say if you have a map, right? In map you use a put. In list you call it as add. So just you need to know the methods there, and you also need to know like whether we'll be able to add something at some positions or not. So just practice these methods, then then it will be very clear for you.
So
Mhm.
how many add methods do we have for linked list? Like add all, add first, add last.
Yep.
And
L dot add. These are the methods.
okay, 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 got it.
Right. So this closes our linked list, and next comes your list interface. So your array list and linked list will be implementing your list interface. So what does list actually provide? List in Java provides a facility to maintain the ordered collection. It contains the index-based methods to insert, update, delete, and search for elements. So if you want to insert, you use the add method. If you want to update, you put this, you use the set method. If you want to delete it, remove the method. If you want to search for it, get off an index. So these are the methods which will be which the list interface is providing us to perform all the operations: insert, update, delete, and search for the elements. So if we have, it can have duplicate elements also. So a list can have duplicate elements. That means having a same element multiple times, it will give you an output. We can also store null elements to the list. Null elements means an object which does not have any value, that is called as a null in Java. Any object which does not have any value, that is called as a null. So the list interface is found in Java.util package. It inherits the collection package that we know, because list is an interface. Interface is implementing the collection interface. Collection interface is implementing your iterable interface. And list is an interface, whereas ARRAYLIST is the implementation class of the list. Yeah, we know this. Do we have anything for list? Okay, I do have it. So ARRAYLIST, you know this. Yeah, okay. So we have few methods of converting array to list and list to array and sorting everything. So let's discuss them. You know that how to create an array list and how to add items to the list. So if I simply run this, yeah, I'll get the output. Just a minute. Now, if you want, like, I have something called now. What is this? This is an array of type string. Okay, string. This is the array symbol, and this is my array object, and I have these elements within my array. If I print the array, printing array, I have this is my array elements. Now, if I want to convert my array to list, first of all, I need to have one blank list. So I'll declare some list, list1 equal to new array list. So this list is blank, and then I use a for each loop, and each and every element within each and every element, iterating over each and every element, and I put it to this object, this variable here, and I'll add that object here to my list. So from this, I'll get a list of objects. So I converted my array to a list.
So that lang functionality, what does it do? That lang, string lang, yeah.
This one, this is a simple. This is a simple for each loop. Wait, let me write.
Yeah.
I'll tell you which. For each loop, right? For string, put it as array element, okay? And what are you going to iterate on here?
Array.
No. Yeah. Right. And whatever element which you're going to get from the array list, I'm going to have that single element in array element. Correct?
Yes.
Now I'll simply print that array element every time. That's it. Lang is just a keyword for me.
Okay, keyword, okay.
Yeah. Hold on just a minute.
Here it says list add lang, yeah.
List not add. Yeah, I didn't add this, sorry. So I'm going to add list of all the elements. Whatever element which I'm getting it from here, I'm going to add it to the list and then print the list. That's it.
Okay.
Now let's say I have a list and I want to convert it to array. So I have list equal new array list, and I'm going to add 4 cars to that list, and I want to convert this list to array. For that, you need to, first of all, we need to create a new array. So string array1 equal to car list dot to array. So car list is an object of list. List has something called as to array method. So if you just click on list, click on Control O and type to array. Just use Control O to search for methods. Okay, to array. You will have this. So to array is the method which is being provided from the list, and now your car list is the object of the list. That's why if you type car list dot to array, you'll get this. So you're converting a list to array, and you want to store it in new string of type array of how many elements, car list dot size. So in arrays it is length, and in list it is size.
Once come again. Once.
You want me to come again?
Yes.
First of all, this is my list. I'm converting it to 2 array.
Yeah.
2 array means what? This is what is my return type now? String of array. Correct?
Okay. Yes.
You know this, right? Like int. This is an array, right?
Yeah, int array.
Similarly, this is my string array, right?
Yeah.
That is what I'm telling. Yeah. Now, if I'm going to use a to array method, what am I getting? The string array.
Yes.
Okay. So what should I pass to the string array? I need to pass something called as a string array again. Correct? It is expecting string array.
Yeah.
That's why I'm passing new string array. And you know how do you declare a new string, new array? Like let's say int arr equal to new int of 5.
Okay.
You know this, right? Now here it is string. Here it is string now. and this is the length of my array 5.
Yes.
But this is a list, right? For now it is 4 elements. I can put the value as 4 here, but tomorrow this can be like I don't know my list size. It can be list of 1,000 to 10,000 elements. We don't have the size, right? That's why what did I do? I did a car list dot size.
Okay.
So for just for our easiness, let me do one thing. Size like int size equal to car list dot size. Okay, I'll simply pass that size here. This will be clear for you. Let me print the size also. Size of list less size. Yeah, let me print this. It will be easy for you now. See, size of list is 4. So I'm going to initialize my array with the size of 4. Now is this clear? Is this line clear? I just converted my list to an array, and I'm storing it in array 1.
Yes. Okay.
Simply print that array. Arrays.toString array 1. I got the output. Like, are you getting confused with the syntax itself? Like, with this line itself?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Just try practicing them, and you'll get it. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, you just need to know, first of all, what are we going to do? I want to convert a list to array. So what do we have? I have a list now. So with that list, I'm going to convert it to 2 array. So simply make use of that list dot 2 array method. Now 2 array dot 2 array, this 2 array method is expecting a string array for me. That's why I'm going to initialize a new string array of type of size. What is the size? The size of the list.
Yes.
That's all the line. This is the line. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead of writing it in a single, like I just wrote it in a single line.
We just declared, and then the declared variable you kept in the inside the car list dot size.
Yeah, college dot size means this will give you a number.
Yeah.
So and array, you know that arrays are fixed size. So you need to provide a size when you're initializing it. What is the size? List the size of your list. How do you calculate the size of a list? List dot size.
Yeah.
How do you calculate the length of your array? Array dot length.
Length.
You need to you need to know only these one, like when to use where.
Okay.
Yeah. Dot size for list and dot length for array.
Array.
Yeah. And also remember, like, let's see, car list dot size is a method for you. But if you want to calculate the length of the array, array 1 dot length, this is not a method for you. Int len equal to array 1 dot length. So you need not provide brackets here because this is not a method.
Okay.
Okay.
We are declaring, right? We are declaring that array dot whatever the length it is in length variable. So we will just while generating an output, we'll just place that variable len so that it will derive variable value.
Yeah. Forget about the variable value. What I'm telling is carish dot size. If after size you see these two open and close brackets, this is called a method. This is a method. Yeah, but here after length you don't have those open close brackets.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're writing in IDEs, you won't get any issues. But if you're writing in some other Notepad or Notepad or any other editors, make sure.
Okay.
Done.
Yep.
So this is how you convert an array list to an array. And how do you sort? We know, just simply make use of the collection.sort list, collection.sort, and if you just print the list, you'll get that. You'll get it. Run as Java application. Depending on error messages. Again, if you want to do a reverse order, put a comma. Come on. Collections dot reverse order. That's it. you get in reverse order. And so since we are working on list, you have something called as a list iterator interface. List iterator interface. What this will do is, now if you take the for loop, what this will do, whatever is the element within your array or the list, it will simply iterate in forward direction. From starting from here, it will go to the end. But if you take a list interface, list iterator, again, this is also just a method for accessing your list. Okay. So list iterator string lt equal to list dot list iterator. This is same as a iterator only. How do you declare iterator? It is iterator string. I'll tell you. Iterable iterator string it equal to list dot iterator. So this is your iterator. I'm going to use something called list iterator. List iterator string lt equal to list dot list iterator, and you can write lt dot while lt dot has next, simply print the next element. And if you want to start from reverse direction, you can use this one. If lt dot has previous, print lt dot previous. So your your iterator does not have a previous option here. It only prints the next option. Like it only go in forward direction. But a list iterator will go in two directions. See, if you want to traverse in forward direction, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Ferrari. If you're going to traverse in reverse direction, you're going to get in Ferrari, Audi, Mercedes, and BMW. That is the use of a list iterator. So now you're getting it right. Like when to use what. If you want a reverse order of elements, use this. Else, use that.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Any doubts still here?
So it dot next and it dot previous are the methods, right? Then.
Yeah. LT dot has next and LT dot has previous are the methods within your list iterator. So wherever you see a open close bracket, right, simply take it as a method.
Okay.
That's a method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here in this method, so we can consider that method as an expression for while.
Condition for a while. While has conditions.
Condition. Sorry.
Yeah?
Condition. Yeah. Condition for while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Everyone, any doubts still here? Asha, Monica, Dorbabu.
No doubts, but we need to just recall all the things at a time.
Yeah, actually, I thought of covering all the concepts like within our 1 hour, but yeah, no, I went slow. Tomorrow, like when we are discussing, right, we will recap all these concepts again. So these are pretty much the same. If you see everything, you're just declaring it, you're adding elements, you're removing elements. The only thing is you need to know when to use what. You need to know the concept itself, a simple concept. So then it will be very clear for you. You just need to know how to initialize your collection framework, how to manipulate them, how to add elements, remove elements. If you know all these, right, then it will be easy for you.
Okay.
So for that, you need to know the properties, like what our list will have. Like suppose if you want, now you have something called as duplicates. If you want to allow duplicates, what framework should I use? If you want to maintain the insertion order, that means I added BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Ferrari. I got the output in the same format. That means this is maintaining the insertion order. Now, if you go to sets and maps, they won't, some won't maintain the insertion order. So we'll discuss discuss about them tomorrow. So if you know all these properties, right, then it will be very easy for you.
Got it.
Yeah, cool. Any other doubts, everyone?